Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Slipstream Racing episode. I'm your host, Sagar Bakshi, the hostess with the mostest, and we are racing around Silverstone. This is Season 9, Round 7, and boy, oh boy, is this championship still heating up. If you thought it couldn't get any better than this, well, think no more. Cody Lawrence leads right now with 143 points over Sean Moriarty in the McLaren with 119 points. Matt Chivry, the Scuderia Ferrari, with 60 points, tied with Pete Rader in the Scuderia Ferrari for 60 points as well. Trent H for the Prism Racing JWI with 54 points. Colin Edwards, the Aston Martin, with 44 points. Jaden Neal, the Sauber, 40 points, tied with James Shorter for Panther Racing. Grant Worley for the Prism Racing team, 35 points. Ryan Earl for Flips Racing, 21 points. Twisted Jack for the Blue Flags Racing Gambit, 19 points. Cody Fowers and Cameron Ketchen are both tied with 11 points to their names so far. And boy, oh boy, has this been a very interesting championship with sometimes anywhere as many as 12 drivers showing up in this championship so far. It's been awfully exciting to see all the drivers go around these iconic tracks around the world, but this time we're at an even more iconic circuit. What other than Formula One's very first ever in history, but Silverstone, folks. And it looks like Jaden Neal is out here on track doing some Jaden Neal things. So without any further delay, let's get right to the action, as the drivers are mostly doing their outlaps right now, but I still like to see them go around. How about yourselves, folks? Black screen of anticipation as we get ACC loaded. And here we are. Trent H. Pete Rader. Cody Lawrence, of course he's here. The man, the myth, the legend himself. The championship leader. In the number 11, it's Cody Lawrence. Matt Chivry, James Shorter, Justin DeShong, if I'm not mistaken. Jake DeShong, I apologize. And then Colin Edwards in the number 2. We got Jake and we have Colin Edwards, both driving the number 2. Are they in the same Williams car? We'll have to take a look. Let's see. We can get a onboard shot. No. He's driving the McLaren, actually, in that number 2. What a beautiful looking car that is. Colin Edwards in the marble liveried McLaren, doing very beautiful things in that car. And Colin Edwards is nothing to shake a stick at. He's been driving awfully rapidly recently, and I would be pressed to see him improve any more than he possibly has been, driving on the absolute limits from what I can tell. And he's been doing a great job to keep on driving at those limits, but not pushing beyond them. Jaden Neal with a 126.455 pulls out the fastest lap so far. Excuse me, that's Cody Lawrence with the fastest lap of the race so far. Jaden Neal with a 126.6, his fastest personal best. Matt Chivry with a 127.9. Beautiful camera shots here at Silverstone as we rode behind Cody Lawrence in the chase cam for a little bit to get a first-person view of what it's like to go through Maggots, Beggots, and Chapel here at Silverstone, and it's been a hoot of a time. See what compound tires everybody is using right now. That's something that would be telling. Seeing everybody on the C3 compound tires, so that should be the medium compound tires. And you can tell by the yellow walls. Yep, and those are the yellow walled medium tires that everybody's driving on right now, at least for the qualifying session. During the race session, things could change up, obviously. The track temperature is at 20 degrees Celsius. The track temperature is at 30 degrees Celsius. The ambient temperature is at 20 degrees Celsius. So the temperature quite hot out there right now. And Cody Lawrence coming into the pits after doing his 126.455, as all drivers must do if they want to continue the qualifying session, because we have realistic pit lines. So if you do come in speeding in the pits, or if you do need to top up for fuel, one thing you must do is you must go into the pit lane. No teleporting to pits, no hunky-dory action going on there in your comfort zone and just being able to warp back to the pits. This is as realistic of a simulator that the boys can provide, and they've done a pretty great job, I must say, to making this a great championship series so far, as we see one of the Scuderia Ferraris going off track a little bit. That would be Pete Rader in the number 55, the Carlos Sainz numbered car, going a little bit off track there through Maggots, Beggots, and Chapel, finding his way back around the track now as we approach Stowe. And into the pits for Mr. Rader, as well as that would be the Prism racing car of Trent H. Glad to see Trent H back. He took a week off. I think he was away for business, he said. Glad to see him back. He was sitting up in 4th in the championship. Where has he fallen down to now? He's down in 5th now. He's got to contend 6 points ahead to Pete Rader and Matt Chevry. So he's got a little bit of work to do to try to catch back up in this championship, but I wouldn't be too worried about him because he's been Mr. Consistent as far as this championship has gone on so far. Trent H has pulled out 15 points in the past 3 races that he's attended. He obviously took a DNS at the Fuji Grand Prix, but now at Silverstone, he'll obviously take a start there. He was disqualified at the Pinot Grand Prix. I believe that was for pitting or teleporting to the pit lane, and that was a big no-no, but he was beached on the side of the track, so not much he could have done about that, really. But in the last 3 races that he has finished, 15 points to his name. That should be a points haul of 4th place, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, points haul for 4th place. So he's Mr. Consistent. He's the best of the rest, that's for sure. And I hope to see him find his way yet again. But he's got Pete Rader and Matt Chevry both ahead of him in the championship and tied in the championship, obviously. Right in front of him on the qualifying tower. So he's got a little bit of work to do right now. And he's got 12 and a half minutes to put together to see if he can possibly do that much better. Overhead shot of Matt Chevry, the 4th place car in the standings right now. 127.219. Excuse me, 3rd place in the standings. We'll tie for 3rd with Pete Rader. 4th place in the championship. 1st place in our hearts, obviously. And Cody Lawrence, the number 11, still out there looking to improve. The man is on a mission right now. Matt Chevry gets to the line, finds himself into 3rd place at 126.774. And he's inching that much closer to Jaden Neal, the alien himself. Jaden Neal for Team Sauber down in 7th place right now. The 2 races he has taken part in, he's placed 1st or 2nd place. So expect to see Jaden Neal do Jaden Neal things, and he tops the charts. Excuse me, sir. Jaden Neal, 126.040 bests are Cody Lawrence, a 126.169er. What an amazing feat. The man just proved it right in front of our very own eyes how fast he is. But will that pace transfer to consistency over this race? Time will only tell. We're going to have some laps to do to prove it. Put your feet to the grindstone. We're going to have 35 laps around the British Grand Prix. That should put our running time right around 50 minutes, around the 50-minute mark. I love this game so much. It looks so great. Force feedback, amazing. I hope they add modulations or mods to Assetto Corsa Evo when it does allow it, because seeing cars like this come out on circuit will be such an amazing thing with the force feedback that it's capable of producing and the graphics that are available. I mean, this game looks fantastic. Look at how Trent H is taking the bumps coming in towards Stowe. and you can see the undulation of the suspension components as well. Puffs of smoke coming out from the brake ducts. It is a phenomenal simulator. Assetto Corsa, Kunos Simulation. Tip of the cap to you. Trent H coming around. He's improving by a little bit of time. Let's see what that improvement can be for Trent H. 127.7 coming up the line. Pete Rader, 127.7 as well. 769 to a 715 from Trent H out in front. With Trent actually gaining one position, and Edwards nipping at the heels of Matt Chevry. Look at how beautiful that sky is. Absolutely gorgeous clouds. If only we had rain. Who knows? Hear us now. Hear our prayers. And they did. Evo has provided us with rain. Colin Edwards, 126.965 being his last lap around. His best lap around, but a huge tank slapper coming through Chapel. Trying to get the car collected underneath him with that tank slapper. The one thing I'm looking forward to around this track is the amount of runoff that we have. Not a whole lot of gravel traps that we have to worry about the drivers getting stuck in. The walls are fairly far away. So I don't expect to see too many incidences resulting in drivers having to teleport to the pits or disqualifications of that sort. So I'm really looking forward to, as I say, that there's a giant gravel pit that Matt Chevry is not finding as he goes up the inside of Luffield and Woodcock and has to tumble his way back into the pit lane, it looks like. Unfortunate there, but there was a giant gravel trap. Look at the animations. They're staring the wrong way. The track's that way, folks. Why are you looking at me? Awkward situation there as the fans were looking directly into the camera for some reason and not looking at the amazing track view. So shocking. So shocking. Startled myself. Let's not use that camera ever again. Mr. Cody Lawrence, 126.169, chasing down Jaden Neal. He is improving. Is that correct? Holy smokes. 125.845. I could not believe the Delta's timing was so accurate. I just could not believe that he was that much quicker on that lap than Jaden Neal. It looked like that was going to be it. Yeah, there it is through real penalty. A 125.845 will stand as the best qualifying time so far with 6.5 minutes left to go. Jaden Neal getting to around... Oh, and a 125.829 out of Jaden Neal from the 77. I cannot believe these times right now. Holy Toledo. Phenomenal lap times from these drivers. They are pulling out all the stops right now. Just a couple of thousands separating the two of them right now. Amazing driving. These guys are on the ragged edge of what they're able to produce. And if this is qualifying, I cannot wait to see what the race has in store. Once all the drivers are driving in their DRS trains, it'll be phenomenal to see how they're able to perform lap after lap and see if they're able to get the consistency down. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You know, one lap pace is one thing, but getting that lap time in consistently over and over again will be very telling. Here's Jake DeShong in the number 2 Williams car. Colin Edwards, the number 4, 126.965 being his best. Still standing. Jake DeShong improving by almost half of a tenth right now. He is improving by around a tenth. A little bit of a lockup, it looks like. Vale and Club, and now he's coming around and he gets to the line. Colin Edwards with a 126.687 finds himself resting his head up in third place to number 2. Marble McLaren doing very good things. He is smoking them hard and fast. Matt Chevry, though, 126.7. Can he find any improvement? Not on this lap, I do not believe. Oh, he might find some improvement on this lap. He's up around 0.4 of a second right now. .126.7, 126.470, and he'll snatch away that third place spot from Colin Edwards. They're still going to start on the same row, but it'll depend on if he wanted the outside or the inside line. And obviously a little bit of track position there, being in third place over the fourth place spot. We'll have less cars than he needs to pass for that haul of points he's looking for, with Pete Rader tied with him in the championship right now. Colin Edwards in 6th place in the championship with 44 points to his name. Still in the running of things, obviously, as most drivers are. Nothing is mathematically sealed off just yet, I don't believe. Except for Sean Moriarty not being here tonight. That might close the door on Cody Lawrence walking away with P1 in the championship. Here comes Chevry in the pits. Cody Lawrence down on time, also ducking in the pits right now. What about Colin Edwards? Is he looking to improve right now? I don't believe so. Aiden Neal, though, is hunting down some improvement right now. Be about a 10th improvement as he comes through Vale now. Or excuse me, he's coming through Doe now, and then through Vale and Club, obviously. Jaden Neal did find that improvement, 125.817. Last lap, best lap coming out. 2 laps since he has taken a pit stop. And this will be all the drivers' last opportunities to get a flyer in. Whoa, Raid from Trackalicious, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate you all for showing up. Welcome to Slipstream Racing Formula 1. VR, Edo the G. Welcome, 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 Trackalicious viewers. Thank you very much for showing up. Thank you very much for being here. We're racing F1 stuff at Silverstone, the VRC mod. And right now, we've got an epic championship on hand right now. 125.8 for Jaden Neal, 125.8 for Cody Lawrence, Matt Chevry, Colin Edwards, Pete Rader, Trent H, Jake Deschamps, and Justin Shorter, all in this championship battle right now. Racing around Silverstone, 3.6 mile, 5.8 kilometers. What the heck is a kilometer? Founded in 1948, current layout since 2020. We're racing at Northamptonshire, England. 18 corners total, 8 to the left, 10 to the right. 30 feet total of elevation change. Less elevation change than Paul Ricard, if you can believe it. That is my fact I'll always stick to till my dying breath. Unbelievable. Paul Ricard has 100 feet of elevation change, if you can believe it. I don't know where, but apparently it does. Apparently if you were to roll a marble down that straight, it would just go flying. H coming into the pits, practicing his pit stops, as always, a good strategy to try. Mr. Cody Lawrence out there not to improve this time around. He should be coming into the pits this time around. Cody Lawrence did improve by almost 0.04 of a second, but it won't be enough to best Jaden Neal out in P1 right now. Won't best Jaden Neal, who's sitting in P1, doing a great job of driving this one forward. Cody Lawrence in P2, Chevry in 3rd, Edwards in 4th, Rader in 5th, Trent H in 6th, DeShong in 7th, James Shorter is going to be in 9th position for this Silverstone race. We have to find out what tire selection the drivers are going to want to take next. Grabbing my hydration before we get going for this epic race. Cody Lawrence leads the championship with 143 points. Sean Moriarty in 2nd place with 119. Chevry in 3rd, tied with Pete Rader for 60 points. Trent H in 5th place for the Prism Racing JWI with 54 points. Colin Edwards in 6th place. Jaden Neal in 7th. James Shorter in 8th. Grant Worley in 9th. Ryan Earl Flip in 10th. Twisted Jack in 11th, Cody Fowers in 12th, and Cameron Ketchen in 13th position. Taking a quick break before we get to the race session that will get underway in just a few moments' time. Waiting for the session to tick on over. Okay. And we're just waiting for the green lights to take hold. Or the red lights to take hold of the Christmas tree, and we'll get rolling. Thank you for the follow. Yuki Tsunoda is the GOAT. Appreciate you. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're enjoying this F1 broadcast. Hopefully you stick around for more live action soon. Again, we're just waiting for the session to tick on over. And we got some fun facts about the Silverstone Raceway track. Silverstone was originally a World War II Royal Air Force bomber station. Its layout still reflects the triangular shape of the former airfield runways. Looks like the drivers are gridding up now. And Silverstone, also being the home of British motorsports, known as the home of British motorsports, hosts the British Grand Prix almost every year since the Formula One Championship began in 1950. And Silverstone hosted the inaugural Formula One World Championship race on May 13th, 1950, attended by King George VI, making it the first and only F1 race to be graced by British monarch. Waiting for the Christmas tree to become illuminated. Drivers starting at the back end of Club, coming down the Hamilton Straight, in through Abbey Farm, and then the Village and the Loop. A bit of a different start than what you typically see on ACC or any other simulator. We are starting at the Formula One layout. Christmas tree is becoming illuminated, and then green, 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 away we go, folks. And it looks like Jaden Neal has a good start in front of Cody Lawrence. Cody Lawrence actually under threat from the cars behind right now, and that'll be awfully interesting to see him get under threat. No, that's not him under threat. Looks like he's doing just fine as time will tell. Let's take a look from the TV. Jaden good job of maintaining that gap. DRS will not be activated until the second lap of this race, everybody. So do not expect anybody to be pulling off any DRS trains until that point in time. Oh, and there goes a McLaren. That'll be Colin Edwards. Spun around the backside of left field. And he's going to have to get the car rotated on those hard compound tires and get them going the right way again. Jake DeShong, the only driver that's taken the C3 compound, all other drivers on the C1 compound. Jake DeShong start this one. Again, for DRS or the drag reduction system to become activated, what you really need to do is go ahead and stay within a 1 second gap of the car in front. Jake DeShong, 5-second penalty for using DRS outside of the DRS window. DRS is now enabled according to the real penalty application that we have running. We'll see Cody Lawrence try to pick up the pace over the chase down in front. 10th gap right now as we come through the loop and entry. Let's ride on board with Cody Lawrence and see what he's seeing. Battle for 5th and 4th, just as close in the battle between 1st and 2nd right now. 7 tenths, 8 tenths, there's the gap between them. All the way up to Stowe. 2 downshifts down in the 6th gear, pulling around 210 kilometers per hour around the corner. Go check out that battle with that shit. Half a second of Pete Rader out in front. fastest lap of the race, 130.3 so far on the hard compound tires. Pulling up to 280 kilometers per hour coming through farm and village, and it looks like Trent H is off, and now we've got a battle. This is the best view we're going to get of this one. Out in front, we're going to go 3 wide, it looks like, coming down the back straight, and Matt Chevry bumps himself up into 3rd place, up the inside line. Through he goes on Pete Rader and Trent H after Trent made a mistake before the village. Now Trent H has got to put in the work to get around Pete Rader and Matt Chevry. 2 cars he's trying to battle for 6 points in the championship. He needs to do better than them if he wants to get a shot at 4th place again. Well, 3rd and 4th place. 3 laps down of the 35 remaining laps that we have left to go. And we've still got epic battle. Looks like Cody Lawrence is just a hair faster than Jaden Neal out in front right now. Not by enough to actually do any catching just yet. That should be the fastest of the 3 drivers on circuit. But it looks like the Scuderia Ferrari cars, the 16 and the 55, Matt Chevry being the fastest of the 3 of them, then H, but that was after the slip up and the epic side-by-side 3-way battle that we had coming down the middle straight. And it looks like Trent H may have gone a little too deep and wide there. Fast. 1.7 is the gap now back to Trent H as you see him just there perfectly with that camera. And still Pete Rader charges on number 55, Carlos Sainz car, Carlo Sainz. Wouldn't that be a tongue twister? Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc had to go. Carlos Sainz. Oh, I apologize. Pete Rader, 4.5 off the good for Matt Chevry out in front right now. 32.1 to 32.1 through 32.8. The Trent H is losing out touch. Pete Rader and Chevry will stick to each other like glue, but not for long, as the Chevry has a huge take slapper, and Rader is able to go right on through without any qualms about that. Pulls through, quick, fast, in a hurry, doesn't want to get slowed down at all, and it looks like he got a helping hand of DRS as well, because he was there at the detection point. After he had passed his opponent slash teammate, right? They always say in Formula One, the first person you have to beat is your teammate, then everybody else. The gap between the leaders seems to have gone nowhere. 7.78 turned into 0.60. Just tiny gains here or there. And now it looks like Chevry getting a threat from Trent H behind. But Colin Edwards doing 131s. So he'll catch up to this pack within the next 6 laps or so. Cody Lawrence actually chopping away at that time. time very steadily now behind Jaden Neal. Half a second, 6/10 turned into 2/10 very quickly as Jaden Neal must have made a tiny mistake. Cody Lawrence following suit though, they're still nose to tail, separated by just about nothing. Pete Rader again. Was down to 3 tenths before they got to Beckett's Chapel. So now it's back up to half a second. H doing a good job. He's closed down that 1.7 second gap to about 9/10 of a second now. So he's getting a helping hand to DRS. There goes Chevry around the outside. It's Stowe, but can't maintain the track position. Drifts out a little too far wide. Rejoins the track right in front of Trent H. Trent has to back out of that one. That was a little bit uncalled for, a little bit wild and reckless, perhaps. But you see a gap and you have to go for it. Therefore, you are a racing car driver. It seems like Matt Chevry saw the gap, wanted to go for it. Or the beans all in the soup. Fred H now has a better opportunity than ever to push some points in front of Chevry. As Chevry finds himself going off with another tank slapper coming into the loop. Now Trent H has the move done and dusted. Just Mr. Consistency playing his cards right now. Back up to the leaders, Mr. Cody Lawrence in P2, 9/10 away from Jaden Neal. Neal seems to be pulling away at a rate of not. Last lap around was a 1:30.190 compared to a 1:30.11. Oh, and there goes Cody Lawrence off and into the kitty litter. This could actually end his race if he ends up getting stuck out there. He is lighting up those tires so he does not get stuck. But holy Toledo, what happened to Cody? He has found a mistake, a kink in the armor. Wowza, as he was coming through Stowe, I thought it was all calm, cool, and collected, but apparently not. He has just developed a 1:38.894, 9 seconds back from Jaden Neal. Might be Neal's third podium of his 3 races he's taken part in so far. The one thing that's going to hurt Cody Lawrence's chances the most is how much heat he had generated into those tires going into the gravel pit. We saw utter domination last week at Fuji, where Cody Lawrence even took an extra pit stop for soft tires. He was so dominant to ensure that he got the fastest lap of the race. May not be the case this time around. Mr. Colin Edwards, the number 2 smoking Marlboro McLaren. Chasing down Matt Chevry is 1.2 away for now. I believe Colin Edwards has the pace to make that a 1 second gap here shortly. Get that helping hand of DRS. Helping hand of DRS that he desperately needs to be able to close down the gap, and there it is. Oh, Trent H off the track somewhere, stumbled down into 6th place behind the 8th place car of James Short. Side-by-side action as we head down to Brooklands. On the inside, Colin Edwards has the opportunity to make a move, and he went for it himself. Up the inside of Matt Chevry perhaps cannot challenge back at this time. 130.8 compared to 131.6 last time around for Colin Edwards. Colin Edwards still doing green personal bests in Sector 1 and Sector 2, it looks like. Looks like the 6th place car of Trent H was stranded at the end of the chapel, waited for the track to become clear before rejoining, but Mr. Consistency has failed us this time around. Sixth place for Trent H might tie Nope, he's had a worse finish than Hell's Finish. 7th position, so as long as he finishes where he is, it's going to be his worst finish ever, but he definitely needed to get points in front of Pete Rader and Matt Shapiro. Colin Edwards is the one who's going to be chopping away at the lumberjack that is. Rader's last lap around was a 131.7 compared to Colin Edwards. Like I said, Colin Edwards was improving in Sector 1 and Sector 2. To be sure to catch up to Pete Rader out in front. Give him around 3 or 4 laps and he'll be caught up to the car in front. Edwards and Chevry. Gap staying very close right now between the two drivers. And Chevry from Scuderia Ferrari finds the grass. Oh no! It's a little bit of a commentator's curse, but Colin Edwards carries on. Colin Edwards carrying on very well. Moving through Sector 1. But he's carrying speed and Rader. A firecracker under his derriere because he's going around a second faster than his previous best. 3.8 is the gap now. We'll keep an eye on that one to see how it goes, but for now, let's ride on board with Jaden Neal and see what it's like to do a lap around Silverstone. Coming in towards all the way down in towards 3rd gear, now chucking it into Abbey. Staying in 2nd gear, a tiny lift off the throttle. was the quickest 1 minute and 30 seconds of my life, I think. I feel like we just jumped high through the entire lap and back over the cockpit. And we all know from the great Toto Wolff, you never stick a wheel up the inside at cops, right? Has chopped down the cherry tree that is separating him and Pete Rader. Gap was close to 3.8 seconds. Now it's down to 2.3. Pete Rader doing a 132.1 last wrap. Colin Edwards doing a 131.6. So he's gaining about a half of a second lap after lap now. And remember, Colin Edwards is the one that had a lap on the inside. Pretty much at the back of the pack. So this recovery drive of his would be phenomenal from. Got all drivers on the C1 compound. No tire variance in speed or duration length. The driver will have to decide for himself. Look at that, we're already down to under a second of a gap between Colin Edwards and Pete Rader on this lap. Pete Rader under threat now from Colin Edwards behind. Edwards charging up the field as fastly and furiously as he possibly can. Wants that third place spot pretty desperately. Oh, almost touch in the rough there. Went around the long way at Stowe. Keeps the car collected. And no, it looks like Pete Rader wants to challenge back up the inside at Club and fail, but has none to be found. And I suspect that Colin Edwards will walk away with this one. Oh, and Colin Edwards makes a mistake. Goes off track, and this battle will have to resume all over again as we're about to approach the halfway point of this race. Out of 35 laps completed. Drivers are on the 15th lap. Chevry only 1.6 away from Colin Edwards. How fast is he going? He's pulling out 131s as well. Pete Rader is going to be under threat from Colin Edwards to work on. If Matt can get within DRS range, he can get sucked along with that DRS. Big lockup from Colin Edwards in the McLaren Marlboro car. Touch just a little bit, not within 1 second anymore. He was Chevry during the DRS detection point. Matt Chevry is using the DRS to Colin Edwards now. The DRS train will begin. Train. Raider leads over Colin Edwards over Master 3 in 5th place. But this is going to be a battle for the last step of the podium as Cody Lawrence and Jaden Neal. Wowza! A little bit of a touch there turns into a lot of touching between Colin Edwards and Pete Raider. An apologetic wait up there from Edwards. And there goes Raider and Edwards, both of them into the pit lane now. And I wish I was a fly on the wall of that Discord room right now. There goes Trent H gaining 2 positions up into 4th place now. And Trent H lapping around 131s also this time. As fast as he possibly can. 141.146 being his best lap and his fastest. Breeze 131.077. He's doing 132s that last lap around. Can Trent H find some speed to close down a 24-second gap? I don't think so. Everybody. The 6th place car, Pete Raider, just got lapped by Jaden Neal. Pete Raider and Colin Edwards both on the C2 compound now. Everybody else is still on the C1 hard compound. The sidewalls of Pete Raider's car looks like. They're the same white walls. It's the C2 compounds rather than the C1s. Slightly softer rubber. Seems to have found his driving buddy on track to get dragged around with. Colin Edwards up in the 5th place. Still has a lot of recovery driving left to do. Do the 4th place car, which about 20 seconds up the road on the mini-map. All he sees this race as well. He was battling for 3rd place of this race at one point in time, and now he's back down the pack. DRS wasn't open rating. He looked like he was going to make a move on Jaden Neal, but backed out of it knowing better. 129 for Colin Edwards. lap. And that might be the fastest lap of the race so far. 129.694. Yes, it did. Purple sector 2 that previous lap around. Some more soul searching. Fred H lapping around 131.8. I don't think there's enough laps left in this race for him to catch back up, as Trent H would probably also go for the C2 tire. Perhaps the pit stop will be a strategy for him to regain that position back into 4th place. Oh no, Jaden Neal, a huge lockup. I thought he was going into the pit lane, but no. A huge lockup behind Pete Rader. And this has closed down the gap to around 5 seconds. That was around 10 seconds earlier on in the race. Now down to just 5 seconds. Puts Cody Lawrence within touching distance by Degenerate Race League, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it. And thank you for letting me know that I'm a little bit around the same volume as the game volume. I'll go ahead and make that correction now. Jaden Neal around 5.3 seconds away from losing that position. Trent H now into the pits. Colin Edwards immediately regains that position. What tires did he decide to take? C2 compound for all the drivers that have taken a pit stop so far. Cody Lawrence and Jaden Neal, the only 2 drivers that are still on their same old tires. And they might be pushing this towards the end to try to get onto a new set of mediums. That's the only thing that I can think of right now. Because Jaden Neal and Cody Lawrence do not want to lose any more time than they need to. And did Cody Lawrence just come into the pit lane? Cody Lawrence has come into the pit lane. And he was put on the C3 compound tire, so that will be the medium compound tire. And he's going to try to perform an undercut on Jaden Neal now. Neal into the pits, though. It'll be hard for Mr. Cody Lawrence to make up 5 seconds during that pit stop. Jaden starting to roll out of pit lane, but it might be closer than we anticipated. There it is, a 2.2 second gap now, spicing up to be a little less than 2 seconds actually. Once we come around the first set of corners, Jaden Neal is going to be on a cold set of rubbers, and Cody Lawrence has got his tires all heated up. Jaden Neal and Cody Lawrence both on the C3 compound, and now it's a battle of qualifying pace. Who can put the rubber down the most? Cody Lawrence drifting it on the way through Luffield. And he is really putting everything on the line now. Mr. Cody Lawrence chasing down Jaden Neal. .5 purple sectors. Besting all the previous best laps out there. Nearly a second and a half. Time will only tell what Jaden Neal is capable of producing. He's around 3/4 of a second, nearly an entire second faster than his previous best. Two seconds is the gap now separating Cody Lawrence and Jaden Neal. All Cody needs to do is get a helping dose of the drag reduction system, and potentially the race is on between these two drivers. But with just 11 laps left to go in this race, I'm not sure he has enough time to catch up. Perhaps if he had gotten just one more lap before that undercut got executed, he could have done it. .128.2 to 128.0. Cody Lawrence has the best lap time between the two of them by a few tenths, but again, he's going to have to do that at least 6 more times before he gets the drag reduction system help. .128.0 will be the fastest lap of the race right now. Chasing down Jaden Neal. You can hear the Jaws music playing in the background already. .92 seconds again. The gap keeps on slinking back and forth between the two drivers, trading a little bit of time between each corner. Their setups obviously very different from each other as they're making up speed through the track up a lot differently. 128.0 to a 128.0. Cody Lawrence not getting the best out of Jaden Neal this time around. The gap remains the same, right around 1.8 when we cross the line. Cody Lawrence may need a miracle to catch catch back up. Had he not made that mistake earlier on in the stint, his first stint, he would potentially have already bested Jaden Neal, but you know what they say, you shouldn't should all over yourself. Pete Rader gets a 5-second penalty for cutting the track. And that's not going to affect him in the standings whatsoever. Just important to denote. .130.4 for Trent H. Colin Edwards in fourth place with a 129.6 the previous lap around. Matt Chevry in third place with a 129.4. Getting that position after Colin Edwards and Pete Rader got together coming into Stowe. 127.7, are you kidding me? 127.7 compared to a 128.2. The gap has opened up by a few tenths now. Jaden Neal has the firecracker underneath his seat. He's starting to throw the minute wheels backwards for Cody Lawrence. Seventh gear, pushing 300 kilometers an hour before they send it into cops. Drivers are coming around. They'll have 8 more cracks at it to try to get this one right. Cody Lawrence. Trying to get the best of Jaden Neal, 128.2 compared to a 128.0 for Jaden Neal. Again, the gap is increasing between Cody Lawrence and Jaden Neal. Matt Chevry in third place, lapping around 129.8 on the C2 compound. Colin Edwards in fourth place, the McLaren. He's lapping around 129.7s right now. Trent H, 129.8 in fifth place, being his last lap. Pete Rader, 129.9 the previous lap around. James Shorter, the last lap, was a 134.8, and Jake DeShong a 154.5, but I think he's got a little bit of lap traffic that he's been letting by. .127.9 out of Jaden Neal. And the gap has opened up to almost 3 seconds between him and Cody Lawrence. Amazing driving as he comes through left field. It doesn't look like the car is on the edge, but man, he's got to be pushing so hard right now. And we did see Jaden Neal have that huge lockup behind, I believe that was Pete Rader earlier on in the race. where it looked like he was coming into pit lane, but then decided to not do so. Gaps opened up for 3.3 between Jaden Neal and Cody Lawrence. Keeping an eye on the live timing to see how things are going. 128.1 to a 128.3 between Jaden Neal and Cody Lawrence. Now with 5 laps remaining, folks. Jaden Neal coming around for the 4th to last time. 5th to last, depending on what you're looking at. Of course, the timing tower at the top says we're on lap 31. We've completed 30 laps. Jaden Neal has been pretty faultless this entire race, other than that one lockup with Pete Rader that he had where he almost trickled down pit lane. He's been doing a phenomenal job driving this one forward. Cody Lawrence in P2. Matt Chevry in P3 had a very exciting battle to regain the podium. Colin Edwards in 4th place almost had a shot at what was, but the bridesmaid, never the bride, in 3rd place, Colin Edwards. He did get Fuji a podium position. He took home the bronze. Here at Silverstone, he'll take home 4th place. Matt Chevry taking home 2nd place, I believe, at Fuji. And he'll get his 2nd podium of the championship here at Silverstone. And Cody Lawrence will take his 7th podium of the year, of the season at least. Trent H in 5th place will finish up this race getting a haul of points. We'll take home 13. Colin Edwards claiming 15. And Matt Chevry getting 18. That'll keep Chevry in 3rd place in the championship. Colin Edwards will get himself promoted, and Trent H will be that much further away from Matt Chevry. Lap 33 of 35. Two more goes around the circuit and we'll have this race under wraps. And the sun shall set on the British Empire. Have you ever wondered why it's called Maggots and Beckets? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone? I've always wondered why it's called Maggots and Beckets. It's called Maggots and Beckets because maggots, it's named after Maggotts Moor, an area of land near the circuit. It's an old name dating back to medieval times. Beckets is actually named after Becket's Chapel, which is located near the circuit and dedicated to St. Thomas Becket. So that's why it's called Maggots, Beckets, and Chapel. A little bit of homage to the area and the landscaping around Silverstone. And a beautiful track that this is. Jaden Neal absolutely commanding this one from start to finish. Did a great job to keep Mr. Cody Lawrence at bay. Keep him honest, keep him humble. He can't walk away with nothing but wins this entire year. They've been forcing Cody Lawrence to make a small mistake when he was pushing so hard at Maggots and Beckets and Chapel. Cody Lawrence actually almost collected himself in the field and found himself beached and unable to finish the race. But he does so this time around. A DNF surely would upset the championship by quite a bit. There it is, the white flag is waving. Leaders on the final lap, folks. Jaden Neal in the Stake Sauber car will take us around for the final time. One minute and 28 seconds later, Jaden Neal will cross the line. Comps now. He's going to send it through. Both cars able to make it through the back markers of Pete Rader and Jake DeShong fairly easily on that previous lap. And Colin Edwards and Trent H finding themselves close to each other on the circuit. Very interesting during the final laps that Trent H would have caught back up to Colin Edwards. Colin Edwards' tires must have been falling out because he just lapped a 130.7 compared to a 129.4 from Trent H. But only there were a few more laps in this one. But Jaden Neal crosses the line, finishes in P1. Hats are off to Mr. Jaden Neal. He did a great job. Mr. Cody Lawrence finishes in P2. Pete Rader gets a 5-second penalty attached to his final time. He finishes in 6th, and Jake DeShong in 7th. Matt Chevry will cross the line coming home in 3rd, but Colin Edwards and Trent H, you can just see Trent H lurking in the background now, as these two drivers are still on the lead lap. Trent H is pushing as hard as he might. Half-second increase on that previous lap already. The RS is open. Will it be a battle to the line as we approach Stowe? Sparks are flying. Matt Chevry finishes the race in 3rd with a 5-second time penalty to boot, but it won't affect his standings at all because Trent H and Colin Edwards are still fighting this one out. And it looks like Trent H needed at least one more lap to get it done around Colin Edwards. Edwards will finish 4th. Trent H will finish 5th. And Pete Rader in 6th. Jake DeShong in 7th. And James Shorter ending the race in 8th place. There's Trent H doing his victory donuts for his 5th place finish. Hard fought 5th place after a couple of bumps and bruises along the way. Well deserved, Trent. Get him out while you can, my friend. Been a wonderful race, everybody. It's been a wonderful time. Jaden Neal, Cody Lawrence, Matt Chevry, Colin Edwards, Trent H, Pete Rader, Jake DeShong, and James Shorter. Rounding this one out to finish out this epic Silverstone Grand Prix event. This has been a pleasure to host and broadcast. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Thank you very much, everybody, for sticking around. This has been a world of a time. And if you enjoy what you see, check out Slipstream Racing. And you can go ahead and join them as well. And I can find you on the track next week sometime. Speaking of next week, we should be headed to the Red Bull Ring, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we are headed to the Red Bull Ring for the Formula One Austrian Grand Prix of 2024 on Monday, January 27th. Same time, same place, everybody, for 47 laps around the ring. Please go ahead and join us for that wonderful event. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Tracklicious, for the raid. Thank you very much to Degenerate Racing League. Yuki Tsunoda is the GOAT. And to Mariko VR and Eric the Boss Gakassian, thank you very much. And thank you very much to the Slipstream Racing League for having me on board. Really appreciate all the love and support you guys are giving me and the platform to be able to keep on broadcasting. And we'll hope to see you next week. And as always, folks, remember to stay safe out there. Goodbye.